So, welcome along then to round 9 of the Century Sim Racing DTM series. My name is James Whitehouse. I am running solo this evening, unfortunately. Send our best wishes out to Lex, who can't be with us tonight. So, thank you for joining us. Those of you that are online with us as it stands, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Tonight we are doing 2 races. Right now the drivers are sitting in practice. They are going to be doing a 10-minute qualifying session and then a 15-minute sprint. Then the second race is going to be another 15-minute sprint, but the grid is going to be determined with a reverse from the results of race 1. So let's have a little look then at the championship stand at the track info very quickly. So here it looks. So we are at Silverstone once again. We're using the full Grand Prix circuit tonight. That means that the drivers are going to enjoy the full scope of Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, head down to Wolstow, then all of that goodness at the end of the lap. What are your thoughts on this layout? I know a lot of people preferred the old layout, so get in the comments to who your favourite layout for Silverstone is. So championship stand then. As it stands, Tony Draper's got a good lead at the top of the championship on 156 points. Andy Archer has had a very strong run in the last few rounds. He's on 103 in second. Leon Chambers on 89. Pete Harrod joined us again last week on 76 points. Doesn't look like he's joining us tonight, unfortunately. Tom Illingworth is just behind him on 74. James Cole on 65 points. Ollie Evans in 58 points in 7th. Stu Nunnan on 31 points. Reese Cashmore in 9th on 19. And Cam Reedy is on 1. He's not joining us tonight either. So let's move over. So it looks like, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll transition back to that. There you go. So it looks like we're just in the little gap between heading into qualifying. All to play for, really. So we have added a couple more rounds as well. Tonight is round 9, and we are going to have 12 rounds in total. So next week we're going to be at Watkins Glen, but the short version of Watkins Glen. We're then going to go to Imola, and then we're going to go to Brands Hatch, India. I know Tony is a huge fan of that track. He's actually raced there, of course. Did very well in his Ginetta. But he's been pushing very hard to get that track on the calendar. So I was very pleased to be able to do that for him. What we need to see is if anybody can mount a challenge on him so that we have a bit of a decider in the last round. Not looking like it at the moment. He has been absolutely brilliant so far. Right, so we're just giving it a little wait right now, going into a 10-minute qualifying. Andy Archer's been very strong in this series in the last few rounds, I must say. Outright pole, outright win at Monza, race 1. Who am I thinking of? Leon Chambers. He's also had a really strong run of it of late. Bruce Cashmore, nice to have him back. He's missed a couple of rounds. Right. Of course, we've got a new runner joining us this evening. I'm going to call him Classy Kyle, but because I can't remember what his last name is. Kyle Roberts, I believe. Kyle. Yeah, I'm just going to call him Kyle. Kyle all night. I'll tell you what I need to do is get the live stream up, so bear with me for a second. Right then, so let's move it over. We are now in qualifying, so Mr. James Cole joins us. Here he is. Is that right? No, it would appear not. So, 9.5 minutes to go as everyone charges out of the pits for their outlap. They always do this every week, and they all trip over each other on their first laps. So my strategy when I was still racing in this series was let everybody go, and then pick up the pieces once everyone's fallen off. Alright. So if you are watching at home, please say hi in the comments. We love to hear from you. I have got the comments in front of me now, so say something. I'll have a chat with you. I'd like to hear from you. So Andy Archer in the Brawn livery. That is such a nice looking racing car, I must say. Chambers behind him. Who's that in the polka dot livery? Oliver Evans. It's Reese Cashmore. Reese Cashmore is driving in the polka dot livery. Look at them all coming down the hangar straight like it's an actual race day. Let's go on board with some drivers. So Andy Archer was the first person. No, sorry, forgive me. Tony Draper, the first person out for a hot lap. Let's go on board with him. Here he comes, going through. This is the new part of the track, of course. He's going to be heading down the Wellington Straight now. There's a little kink to the left. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do a proper on-board lap when he comes round again. Is behind him. Looks like he's got a bit of a gap behind him. There's Tom Illingworth. Really like that livery as well. Of course, a lot of these drivers having designed their own liveries. I think the only person that hasn't got their own livery is, I think Reese Cashmore hasn't got his own livery, but that's just one that I made pretty randomly one night. And then of course Kyle won't have his own livery, but everyone else looking very sharp, I must say. So where's Tony going through Maggots and Beckett's? Taking liberties with the track limits there, I must say, but fair play. You know, if you're not going to get done for it, go and get it. It is an awesome piece of racetrack, I must say. I think that if I ever end up going to the British Grand Prix, which I hope I do, Maggots and Beckett's is or the exit of Chapel is going to be a good place to go and watch them come through. Hello, Mick Dan, in the chat. Nice to hear from you, buddy. How you doing? You well? You well? You well? Okay, so Tony coming through for the end of his first flying lap. Let's see what this is. He starts off with a 1 minute 52.3. 152.3. We've got Tom Illingworth coming in next. He does a 55.6. Probably not the cleanest lap ever. Reese Cashmore's done a... that lap must not have counted then. Okay, so Leon Chambers has done a 53.9. I'm just going to see if I can find the results of practice. I did record them for your benefit. Right, here we go. So the fastest lap in practice on Thursday night was a 1 minute 51.377. So we're a little way off that still. About a second to go. 5.5 minutes left of qualifying, of course. Has everyone got a lap in so far? This is our newcomer Kyle. He runs a little bit wide there. Let's go on board with him, shall we? Yes, I can do that. Here he is. So I must say he looks pretty composed already. Nice and early on the throttle there. Okay, so where's... I want to do an on-board lap with someone. So let's see who we can find. He's got Reese just behind him. Ollie Evans, where's he? Coming through for a lap. Right, so... Nah, he pulls over. I was gonna chat over that one. So Tony's at the beginning of the lap. Tom Illingworth is back in the pits. Andy Archer. So, 4.5 minutes to go. Tony Draper is currently leading. Leon Chambers is in P2. Ollie Evans P3. The hard-charging Andy Archer of late is only P4. I'm sure there's some more lap time to find there. He's done a 54.8 as his best lap. A little bit to find from just about everybody, I'd say. Although the track, of course, still a little bit green. The track does develop. We do have the capacity to simulate that as well. So the track starts at about 98% and gets more and more rubbered in. Nick Broadbent is in the chat. Hello, Nick. Nice to hear from you. Ryan Mitchell says, I watched the 2017 British Grand Prix for Maggots and Beckett's, watched the Torpedo take himself and Science out, and got some carbon fibre off Science's car. That is well cool. Mick Dan asks, any news when we're opening back up? honestly, mate, your guess is as good as mine right now. The unfortunate thing is that as they start rolling things out, it's obviously going to be the more essential things that start opening up restaurants and whatnot. And I think, unfortunately, we're about as far from essential as you can possibly get. So we'll see. Peter John Marr is in the chat as well. Hello, Peter John Marr. Nice to hear from you. Nick Broadbent says, I'm not dead. Whew, what a relief. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Right, so where are we? I want to get... so, right, so Tony Draper coming. We go on board with Tony Draper as he comes across the line. So, kink of right-hand kink at turn 1, left-hand kink of turn 2, both absolutely flat out. Hard on the brakes, nice and late. Get the car turned in nice and early. He's washed out a little bit there. You want to get the car over to the right-hand side to open up the left-hander at Farm. I believe that's Farm. Run it out nice and wide on the right-hand side, and then we are heading down the hanger straight. Absolutely flat out, coming down towards. I can never remember the name of these particular corners. You've got the BRDC clubhouse on the left-hand side there. Tuck it into the left. I wonder if he's washed out a little bit there as well. Oh, he's taken a little bit of curb on the inside there. What you need to do is get the car straightened up as early as you can here. Florid, he's in a bit of a wiggle on the exit there. So we are now going down past the old start-finish straight, coming towards Cops. Are we going to be able to go flat through here? I somehow doubt it. No, big lift. Bit of brakes maybe. Runs it a little bit wide. I wonder if he'll get done for that. We're now heading towards Maggots and Beckett's. Cut the insides, cut the inside again. Get the car straightened up as early as you can, because what you want to do is get as good an exit through Chapel. Uses all of the curb on the left hand side, that's really good, and now we're heading down the hanger straight. This used to be an old airfield, of course, back in the war. Been repurposed. The original layout of this was just the perimeter road around the airfield, and they've obviously done a lot more work to it since then. Run it out wide through Stowe. That's a really nice corner, nice long right-hander, and then get it slowed down. This is a big, a crucial bit because the curbs are so high there. Not too bad on the inside there, but then use all of the road on the exit, come in nice and tight and run it out wide, and that is a lap of Silverstone. I wonder if I've jinxed him. In fact, I think I did jinx him because he's on a lap again now. That was a 52.2, but it doesn't look like it's counting. Is it counting? Right, so second place is still Leon Chambers. He's a little way off the pace. Andy Archer also a little way off the pace. Let's see what he's getting up to. He's on a lap now. So this is going to be his final lap of the session as well. Right. So let's have a look at Ollie Evans. He comes across the line. That's P2, a 153.5. That's a nice lap from Ollie. He keeps pulling over as he finishes his laps. I wonder if he's only fueling enough to do a very short run. Let's see where Leon is. So Leon's still with some time to find as well. His fastest lap is a 53.6. He's P3. Andy Archer is P4. Let's see how he's getting on. He's heading down towards Cops by the looks of things. Stu Nunnan, it's a pretty good showing from him actually. 54.7. He's been getting stronger and stronger every week. Clearly hitting the brake hard there. You can see the car diving as he hits the brakes. Tony Draper. Is he on a lap? Not sure. There's Leon. He's definitely on a lap. The clock is up, so this is going to be it for everyone. I wonder if running that wide is going to have cost him his lap time. Who's still on track? So we'll stay with Leon. We'll stay with Leon for a bit. Going through Maggots and Beckett's now. That really is, when you hook it up, just an unbelievable section of corners. I'm actually kind of gutted not to be racing this week, to be honest. Peter John Marr is asking where's Lex tonight. He's got some family stuff going on, so he's taken the night to hang out with them and spend some time, which is important to do sometimes, I think, especially now, like when the world is in such craziness. How's everyone getting on at home? Everybody going crazy, I'm assuming. Are we used to the lockdown? Are we ready for it to open back up? Don't forget as well, if you do want to get in on the action, you can join us by heading to centurysim.co.uk/esports. There you'll find the link to the Discord, or you could just join the Discord using the link in the description below. So that's the end of qualifying then. Tony Draper is on pole position with a 152.2. Leon Chambers P2, Ollie Evans P3, that's close between them. Close as well, Stuart Nunnan with a 53.5, 53.9 for Reece Cashmore down in 5th. Andy Archer is in 6th with a 54.2. He'll want a stronger showing in the race than that. Tom Aylingworth is 7th with a 54.7. Kyle is bringing up the rear with a 157.2. So a newcomer finding a little bit of time to find, but he'll find it, no doubt at all. I guess it's tough joining in when you're sort of 9 rounds into a series and everyone else has been pounding around. I mean, the likes of Tony has been here for every round. I think Leon's done every round. I think Stu's done every round, but one maybe. So yeah, a little bit of catching up to do, but yeah, he'll definitely find the time. Alright, so we're just waiting for them to hit the grid, and then we'll go racing for race number 1. So I've just had a look in the chat, and Mick Dan says that he cannot, that you can't hear me. Apologies. I have been. Let's just agree that I've done some of my finest ever commentary work in that little gap. Yeah, cool. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. So Kyle's done a 56.8 at the back. So he's finding some lap time. Which is great. That'll help him come when he starts on pole in race 2. There he is, the new boy. So the gap out front now 13 and a bit seconds. It's a 52.0 for Tony Draper setting the fastest lap of the race there. He is in that sort of Mercedes-inspired livery. Leon Chambers about 13 and a bit seconds back. Just behind him, Stuart Nunnan in third. He's had a really strong drive today. Didn't qualify all that strongly, but found quite a lot of performance going into race 1. So he's done really well. If you are in the chat, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. This is round 9, race 1 of the Century Sim Racing DTM series. My name is James Whitehouse. I'm not joined by Lex Carter tonight, unfortunately. We wish him well. He's getting some much needed family time tonight. 2.5 minutes left of race 1. Tony Draper has absolutely bossed it. Doesn't he look so in control? Leon Chambers has had a really strong drive. I must say it's been a really strong drive from absolutely everybody in this field. Very little histrionics, not loads of... there hasn't been loads of sliding out and making silly mistakes from everybody. Touch wood, let's not commentators curse everybody. But yes, so the field's spreading out a little bit now. This is clearly sort of comfortably where everybody's pace is. We'll go on board with Andy Archer now as he chases down Stu Nunnan. Right, if you'll all excuse me for just a second, I need to go and get some power for my laptop. Otherwise, we're not going to have any chat, and Lord knows we can't have that. And I'm back. Right, so just over a minute to go. Tony Draper's still absolutely bossing us. Clearly nothing's changed in that short amount of time that I was away. We're watching Andy Archer right now in his Brawn livery, chasing after Stuart Nunnan. The gap holding pretty steady to second at 1.5 seconds. Stu clearly feeling a lot more comfortable in that VR. Tell you what, I'm now ready for race 2. I think that we've got a sort of pretty clear indication of how everyone's pace stacks up, and this midfield has been absolutely brilliant in this race. So yeah, like race 2 is always a good time. So don't go away once this race finishes. Stick around. Nice to know you can hear that you can hear me now, Mick. Thank you for letting me know. So 30 seconds to go. Where's Tony on the lap? So is he just starting a lap? Or, no, he's just exited Chapel. So I would guess that there'll be one more lap after this one. Tell you what, Kyle needs to get a bit of a move on, because I have a feeling that there he is. I have a feeling that if he gets lapped, he might not start the race. He might not start race 2. Oh, that was close. That was very close. Oh boy, I'm glad we caught that on camera. I'm wondering if, because Kyle's been lapped now, if he'll start race 2 on pole position. I think he should do. A bit of a wiggle there from Tony coming through the last corner. And this was the final lap, and that means that Tony Draper wins race 1 of round 2 of the Century Sim Racing Esports DTM series. And takes the maximum. Well done to him. Let's go and have a look at Leon Chambers. So we're waiting for him to come through now. Here he comes. Another very strong drive from him. That's P2. Stuart Nunnan hangs on for P3. Andy Archer P4. Ollie Evans P5. Who's coming up behind him? Tom Illingworth. There he is. He's going to come home P6. Reese Cashmore P7. And of course Kyle got lapped, so he finishes P8. Absolutely brilliant. How was that race for everyone at home? Jump in the comments. Who was your favourite driver in that race? Let me know. And there's the usual pile-up at the end. Absolutely brilliant. So, transition over. There you go. Alright, we'll take a short break now. And then we'll get ready to go racing for race 2 in a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
Well, it's probably going to be 20.
Yeah, it's probably going to be 20.
I can't be asked. I don't know. Hello, Jim.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Such tight racing. Yeah. No, it's super smooth.
Yeah, everyone was good. Yes.
I'm excited to come back from the back.
Let's
That's
go.
one thing
We're
we
also
didn't
tight
practice.
on pace in the middle, so it's going to be fun.
The start. How'd you get a good start on this game?
Put the pedal to the floor and shift.
Okay.
See, I actually do just dump the clutch.
I do, yeah, so I'm going to try that.
But you've got to have the revs high enough, otherwise it bogs down.
I don't have a clutch, so I don't use one.
I like it.
Seconds. Yeah, I bet.
Had some good racing though, so must have been a lot to talk about on your own.
I was sweating with Stu behind me. No, none of us went off.
No, what you did here was us lot telling them that they're clear behind, so they didn't kill each other.
I was like, we're clear.
I'm like, come on, Stu, you know.
Yeah.
That's friends.
More of that, please.
We are.
You still in this chat?
Good luck.
Good luck, all.
Be careful of me on the start, try and go around me.
And my mic is back up. Absolutely brilliant racing this. Leon and Tony having a really excellent battle. We are already the better part of 3 minutes in. It's Tony having a look around the outside. Yes, he is. This is going to give him the inside line for the right-hander now. But can Leon stick it around that? He's going to run out of grip out there, but it looks like Tony's got that move made. That was really well done. Excellent racing from these two. And of course, this battle has put Ollie Evans interested now. He's down in fourth now. Tony and Leon start the long march heading towards... that's Leon. He has a bit of a touch on Tony. Tony runs wide and Leon runs wide as well. That lets Ollie Evans up into third place. Oh man, what an absolute spectacle. Here we go. So, battles all the way down. Let's go and have a look and see what the others have got. So Stuart Nunnan, we'll have a look at him. Looking pretty interested on Tom Illingworth. He's got Andy Archer right behind him as well. This is an excellent battle shaping up. This is the battle for fourth place, of course. So, looks like the gap ahead. Let's have just sneak back into this. Leon Chambers lost out a little bit. He's about 9/10 down on Ollie Evans now. 3 seconds the gap at the front. Tony Draper is going to be chasing down Reece Cashmore as hard as he can. Reece tends to do this. Gets a great start in race 2 and leads off the line. The gap now 2.8 seconds. Tony taking a couple of tenths out of him in as many corners. It's a 53.6 for Reece Cashmore, fastest lap of the race. Ollie Evans does a 53.6 as well for Ollie Evans. The gap now 2.7 seconds, and Leon Chambers is not going to let Ollie Evans go without a fight. That is for sure. Let's see what Andy Archer's doing. He's chasing after Tom Illingworth. Stu Nunnan must have made a little bit of a mistake because he's lost a bunch of time. He's 4.5 seconds off the back of Andy Archer. Now, that is such a shame because he had such a strong result. Oh, he gets properly sideways there. Manages to keep it under control, though. So, at the front, Tony Draper's taken an absolute chunk out of Reece Cashmore. The gap now only 2 seconds. If he's going to catch him at this sort of rate, it's only going to be a couple of laps, and he's going to be all over the back of him. He could smell the win in race 2, can Tony. He's just got to keep it clean first and foremost. Behind him, the gap, Leon Chambers holding pretty steady behind Ollie Evans. The gap there is about 1.1 seconds. 3 seconds behind them, Tom Illingworth, Andy Archer, 2.3 seconds behind him. So it's pretty spread out at the back. It looks like this is where the action is, which is fantastic because we are near the front of the field as it stands. Let's have a look in the chat. So, yeah, sorry, Mick. I turned my mic off in the break and I forgot to put it back up again. I'm clearly a pro at this. Clearly a pro. So the gap now, 1.1 seconds between Leon Chambers and Ollie Evans. That looks like where the action is. Let's have a look at Tony Draper as he is chasing down the leader, Reece Cashmore. Gap now only a second. I reckon Tony's going to be looking pretty handy for a move on this lap. He is making serious inroads into the lead of this race. Got to keep it clean, of course. Catching is one thing, overtaking is a whole other thing. A 51.9. That's the fastest lap of the race from Tony Draper. That's absolutely fantastic. If you're enjoying the race, please don't forget, like and subscribe. Drop us a hello in the chat. We love hearing from you. This is round 9. Oh, it's a bit of a moment there from Reece Cashmore. So Tony Draper is right on his tail now. The gap now less than half a second. I reckon Tony's going to be lining himself up for a bit of a move, but Reece goes defensive early. Tony getting a bit of a slipstream. Is that Reece moving under braking a little bit? No, but Tony makes it work around the outside. And he makes the move stick for the lead of the race. God, he is so good, isn't he? Dances away into the lead there. Tony Draper takes the lead for race 2 of round 9 of the Century Sim Racing Esports Series. He's heading down towards Copse, and surely another huge haul of points in his to extend his championship lead. It's not all over, of course, for Reese. He is holding pretty firm in race 2. He's second place now, 2.5 seconds ahead of his friend Ollie Evans, who's being chased by Leon Chambers. The big thing now is, can Ollie Evans get after Reese Cashmore? I think that's going to be our next juicy piece of action. Leon Chambers as well, not letting him get away. Little bits of fine still, but this could end up being a good little battle. We'll keep an eye on this and see how it develops. Andy Archer now catching up to Tom Illingworth as well. The gap now less than a second as they head down towards Stowe. I must say, we have seen some absolutely brilliant overtaking so far today. Looks like our newcomer, Kyle, is having a much stronger race there at the back. We cut to him as he cuts the corner, but yeah, so perhaps finding it slightly difficult going in his first go in this car. Not the easiest car in the world to drive, that's for sure, but a bit of practice and you'll be absolutely in there. So let's have a look at the gaps now. Leon Chambers is right on the back of Ollie Evans. There it is. Right, so he's going to be lining him up for a pass down into turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn 5, that's by the BRDC clubhouse. Here he comes. Right, so in the slipstream, Leon Chambers, DRS open. They're not catching Reese. I must say, Ollie must be watching his mirrors like crazy, because they're not really catching Reese at all. Here they come now. So the gap less than half a second as they hurtle down towards Copse Corner. This is the old turn 1, of course. Clean run through there for both of them. We're heading now down towards Maggots and Beckett's. You can see Reese Cashmore on in the distance. He's not out of sight for these two either. 6 minutes left, of course. They are going to have to get a bit of a move on if they're going to catch him. A little bit wide there from Leon Chambers, but he should hopefully get a decent run coming out of Chapel, which will mean that he'll get a good run down the Wellington Straight as he chases after Ollie Evans. The gap now 0.7 seconds. See in the background there, Andy Archer is having a little look at Tom Illingworth. Let's see how that's shaping up. There he is. So he's having a little bit of a look into Stowe. That's Tom Illingworth going pretty defensive going into there. That's good driving from both of them. I must say, there's been some unbelievable racing so far. All clean. Very little contact to speak of. Tony Draper smashes in a 151.8. That's absolutely brilliant. For the fastest lap of the race. 53.4 for Reese. 53.1 for Ollie Evans. 53.2 for Leon Chambers. So he's hanging on there. Andy Archer using all of the track and then a little bit more there through the last corner as he hunts down Tom Illingworth. What do we reckon, chat? Has Andy got it in him? Can he get past? Has Leon Chambers got it in him? Can he get past Ollie Evans for his second podium of the night? He certainly wants it. Tom Illingworth getting really out of shape going through turn 4, and there's contact and he's round. Unbelievable. So Andy Archer makes his way up to 5th place. He was desperate for the extra points. He's about 6.5 seconds off the back of Leon Chambers now with only 4 3/4 minutes left. I wonder if something has happened to Leon Chambers, because the gap there is now 3 seconds behind Ollie Evans. Ollie 3 seconds behind Reese. So I reckon from here, if Reese can keep himself together, keep it pointing in the right direction, keep the car on the black stuff, he's going to be in for a decent haul of points tonight so far. Right then, so we're on board with Tom Illingworth now. He's having a little look at Stuart Nunnan up the inside at Copse. Does he get the move made? No, Stu hangs on around the outside. That is excellent racing from both of them. My name is James Whitehouse. Of course, you are watching round 9 of the Century Sim Racing DTM series at Silverstone. We are live. This is race 2. I tell you what, tonight has gone by so quickly. There is now less than 4 minutes of racing left. The dying embers of this race still warm, however, as Tom Illingworth chases down Stuart Nunn, and Stu's going to need to go defensive here because Tom is going to get something of a toe, I'd imagine. Is he going to have a little bit of a look at the inside? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Stu giving him loads of room, though. He's going to have the racing line heading down towards the chicane. Though I think he is a little bit ahead as well. So he is a little bit ahead. So he should get it done under braking. Yeah, there you go. Uses all of the track on the outside and closes the door. That's really excellent racecraft from him. So Stuart Nunnan there. He is coming through the last corner now. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go, and then the clock hits 0. Looks like Tom is having a little look at Stu here at the inside. He makes the move stick. He must have got a much better exit out of the last corner, but it's not over yet. Stu's pace tonight has been really excellent, so it's not all over yet. Let's have a little look at our race leader, Tony Draper. There he is, heading down towards Copse Corner now. The gap is there or thereabouts, 4 seconds. Not as commanding a win as he had in race 1, but still he's hammered at home. Reece Cashmore is in 2nd place. He's had a really strong drive tonight as well. Ollie Evans, 2 and a bit seconds behind him. He's catching him, but I don't know that there's quite time left. And Leon Chambers, of course, we're going to need to find out from him what happened that put him off the back of Ollie. This is Ollie Evans. There's Leon Chambers in the background, of course. Ollie coming up behind Reece Cashmore fairly quickly, though. The gap is 2.2 seconds. Let's have a little look at Stuart Nunnan, because the gap is only half a second ahead. He's going to want every single point he can manage. Of course, he managed to get a good result. He was P3 in race 1. That'll have done him the world of good, I would guess. He's now having a good look at Tom Illingworth now. They're going through Maggots and Beckett's on the exit of Chapel now. Tom going to need to go defensive here, I would guess. As he does, he sticks to the inside. Is Stu Nunnan going to go for a bit of a dart up the inside? No, he goes for the outside there. Ollie Evans catching Reece Cashmore pretty quickly. He took 7/10 out of him on that last lap, so the gap now only 2 seconds. Stu Nunnan looking up the inside, going into the last chicane, gets it done. He has a bit of a lock-up and runs wide. That's going to let Tom Illingworth back in. Oh, I tell you what, that was close. Good racecraft from both of them, just losing it under braking just a little bit. Let's go and see how Ollie Evans is going in his pursuit of Reece Cashmore up ahead. The gap now 2.1 seconds. Only a minute left on the clock. So if he's going to get this done, he's going to need to do it pretty quick. And I think he's going to need a little bit of assistance from Reece Cashmore making a mistake. Reece has had a really strong drive in race 2, I must say. Okay then, chat. So it's come to that time in the evening. Let's jump in and let me know who is your driver of the day so far. Is it going to be Tony Draper? 2 wins. I think that his name has to be in the ring. I'd say Reece Cashmore has had a really strong drive in race 2. Ollie Evans has been really strong throughout as well, as has Leon Chambers. Andy Archer not really featured in this race particularly, although he did have some contact that may not have been his fault at race 1 at the start of race 2. Let me know in the chat, who have we got? And we'll see if we can get some drivers in the chat as well at the end. 10 seconds to go. Where is Tony Draper on track? So it looks like this is going to be the last lap of the race, so we'll stick with Tony Draper. He's coming into the last chicane now. Left-hander, then right-hander, then one more right-hander to go. Comes through the final corner, and Tony Draper's going to be taking it. He pulls over to the right-hand side, as he always does, to win race 2 of round 9 of the Century Sim Racing DTM series. Reece Cashmore finishes in P2. That's really excellent from him. Ollie Evans comes home P3. That was a really strong drive as well. Leon Chambers P4. Andy Archer coming round for P5. Tom Illingworth P6. Looks like he's hanging on because Stu Nunnan's not quite close enough. All he's got to do is hold it together on the last chicane, which he does by the looks of things. Stuart Nunnan there. He's going to come home P7. And where is our newcomer Kyle? There he is coming through Copse Corner. So, whole load of excellent racing there from the whole lot of them. I must say tonight has been an absolute feast. Okay, so I am going to try and tot up the scores here. So Reece came second. P3 is Ollie Evans. P4 Leon Chambers. Andy Archer P5. Tom Illingworth P6. Stuart Nunnan P7. And Kyle P8. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, your outright winner for tonight, Tony Draper. He's won both races. P2 is Leon Chambers. Ollie Evans comes in P3. He's had 2 strong results. Reese Cashmore using second place in the second race to come 4th. Andy Archer comes 5th. Stuart Nunn in 6th. Tom Illingworth 7th, and Kyle comes home in 8th. I tell you what, some racing there. This has been an absolutely brilliant night of racing. So put that over and let's see if we can't get some drivers into the live chat. Who do we want to hear from? Let's hear from Tony Draper. I think he won both races. We'd like to hear from him. Who else do we want to hear from, chat? What do we reckon? Let's vote for Reese Cashmore. Okay. Alright, so I'm just waiting to see if Tony comes through. I need to get into the comments chat as well. Commentary chat. Tony Draper, are you with me? Wait there, I'm on the wrong computer. Hold on. Alright, Tony, can you hear me?
Can indeed, mate.
There he is. How was that for you, champ? Great drive.
Really enjoyable. Yeah, it was good racing throughout. I had a really, really enjoyable battle with Leon in race 2 there. He didn't make it easy for me to get past, so that was really, really good fun. And I think further down the field, the guys were saying that they really, really enjoyed the racing tonight. It was very close in the midfield.
Yeah, I must say, absolutely breathtaking racing throughout. This is going to be one worth watching back, 100%. Like some of the battling in race 1 was unbelievable. I mean, for a good chunk of the race, there were 4 of them swapping positions just about every corner. So,
man.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, like you would have seen any of that because you absolutely marched off in race 1, didn't you?
Yeah, it was kind of. I think I had a little bit of time in hand over everybody else for some reason here. I don't know why, but yeah, I just managed to keep it clean and just stay consistent throughout. So I didn't see any of it, but I'm going to watch it back and check it out.
Cool, awesome. So car feeling good. I think the next round that we're going to do is the short version of Watkins Glen. How are you feeling about that?
Watkins is a circuit I've never particularly been fast at, so I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm going to put some practice in, for sure. But I think it's one of those circuits where if you've got a car like this with lots of downforce, it should be really enjoyable if you can pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this, Short was actually the track I used when I first tried out this car. I couldn't believe how much I loved it. Like, 'cause it's all long corners and everything, so I think you're really
Yeah.
It's not a massively long lap either, so you get to
Great. Yeah, I mean, as much as Silverstone's a great circuit because it's such a long lap, and once things spread out a little bit, you kind of, I didn't see anybody else for race 1.
Yeah.
And that sounds like a brag. I didn't mean it to be, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
it was.
I know.
Yeah, I would have liked a little bit more tight battling.
Yeah, sure. But credit where it's due. It's been an absolutely fantastic drive from you, Tony Draper. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
We are joined by Reese Cashmore. Reese, how was that for you, pal?
Intense, man.
Yeah.
Really intense. I mean, both races we had amazing battles. I avoided a crash in the first race and then got sent to the back. But I mean, up until that point, first race, I'm absolutely sweating. And then again, second race, I tried to put up a fight against Tony, but I mean, come on, what can I actually do against that man?
Do you know what? I'll tell you this. Like, it's it really looked like you put up a great fight. Like, it didn't look easy for him at all, and it was absolutely brilliant racing. And I'll tell you this as well: the people have spoken, and you are. It looks like you are our driver of the day for your drive in race 2. So brilliant work, mate.
Even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Series that we've had. I mean, a lot of people don't look very fondly upon Silverstone because it's not got much elevation change and. It's a bit samey, but tell you what, for close racing. Yeah,
it's so wide, isn't it? I mean, we saw good moves just about everywhere. Like, loads of moves up into the last chicane, loads of moves. Like I think Ollie Evans did a bunch of moves around the outside at Stowe. Yeah, like there was just overtaking everywhere. I mean, there was a point in the first race where there were 4 drivers literally all swapping positions every corner. It was unreal. So I think tonight has been absolutely brilliant. In terms of the racing, this has been the best one we've had.
Yeah, definitely, and the closest as well. One of the closest in terms of lap times and stuff. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you're absolutely welcome. Great drive tonight. Thank you for joining us.
See you, man.
Okay then, so all that remains for me to do then is to wish everybody a good night. Thank you for joining us. This was round 9 of the Century Sim Racing DTM series. Join us again next Saturday at 8 PM for round 10 from the short version of Watkins Glen. My name is James Whitehouse. You've been watching the Century Sim Racing DTM series. Have a good night, stay home, and stay safe.
Come on, iRacing, Tony.
I've no idea. Never used voice chat on iRacing.
Jim, how'd you turn your mic on? Oh, sound. What a shout for people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just don't. It would just distract me more to have it on.
Yeah.
Because we all know each other.
Yeah.
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 You haven't got some guy from Brazil shouting profanities at you for doing absolutely nothing wrong.
I had a Twitch streamer today, and he was proper funny. You know, he was like, I can't say what he was saying, but he was pretending he was like welcoming you to an airplane, but welcoming you to iRacing. You know, like safety rating goes out the window. You know, all that sort of shit. It was just dead funny, and I just couldn't compose myself on my outlet. He was cool, you know. He was alright.
That's great. Jim, can you put a download to the Glen up? Sam. Yeah. Right, yeah, because of the chicane at the top of the hill.
My version's got 4, so it's got boot classic, short, and short classic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Short, just short.
Just short. Yeah, it's the more modern version.
Has anyone done any of that? Play on a view?
No.
Don't even know if that's the right Glen.
Drop laps. Laps completed, please.
Monster racing.
Yeah, do you know what, man? I was off the pace. Like, I've just not been good at Silverstone all week, and you know what? I enjoyed it so much. It was boss. Just made pack. It was really good. I did. Yeah, there was some.
Yeah. Cool, man. I'm gonna go watch it back. Yeah. So were you just chatting away and it wasn't coming through? Ah, bollocks. I can only imagine that.